What's up, guys? UFC 324 wrapped up about 12 hours ago, and I'm going to give my thoughts on the main card. Before I do, I want to come out and say it was crazy how many times the streaming glitched, how many times it lagged, how many times it froze. It wasn't nearly as bad as Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul on Netflix. I think this will get resolved by next week, but it was terrible how many times the footage just froze or glitched or lagged. Like, I'm really hoping that Paramount just didn't anticipate how many people would be tuning in and the servers couldn't keep up, but they get this worked out by next week because there's no way that they're going to allow this to happen for fight nights or pay-per-views in the future. Man, that was bad. But kicking things off, the first fight was Arnold Allen versus John Silva. This fight was good. Arnold, he decisively lost. I mean, it looks a lot closer than it was on paper. You know, he had 48% of significant strikes compared to John Silva's 54%, but watching the fight, it did not feel that way at all. I'd say that John, he dominated Arnold. I mean, they were both bleeding a little bit, Arnold more. Arnold, I don't know why I believe he had Faraz Zahabi in his corner, yet he, one of the greatest jiu-jitsu instructors and martial artists in the world, did not shoot any takedowns. Um, Stuffed a few of John Silva's, two of the six. Managed to keep things on the feet, got back up when John shot takedowns. That being said, Arnold, for someone that went the distance with Evloev and is ranked pretty highly in the featherweight division, one that's fairly stacked, I mean, he didn't really show anything special against John. John pretty much made it look easy. There was even that moment where Arnold was on the floor and John jumped off of his back like he was using him as a diving board or something. I mean, he was like surfing on Arnold. I don't know what was going on. That was peak autistic John Silva. It was an entertaining fight, but really not much to write home about. I mean, John Silva, who knows? I mean, hopefully Volkanovski beats Lopez next week and then those two run it back. I mean, John Silva, despite crying in front of the belt with his wife in a cringy fashion, he has no real chance to the belt. Hopefully he has a rematch against Lopez if Lopez loses. If not, I mean, maybe he fights the loser of Lerone Murphy versus Evloev. But this fight was it was entertaining. It kicked off the main card pretty well, but all in all, nothing too special. The second fight was better. This was Silva versus Namajunas. Now, one thing I did not get about this fight is during the third round when they had all the fighters and celebrities' Twitter opinions or X now in the corner. Almost every single one I saw had like it said 2-0 or 10-9 Rose. Everyone was saying that she won the first two rounds. I did not see that at all, man. I don't know about you guys, but I did not watch the first two rounds and think to myself that Rose won it all. Whether you're using actual statistics and total strikes, significant strikes, whether you're using damage-based scoring, I mean, I do not see how anybody could look at the first two rounds of Rose versus Silva and think to themselves that Rose won. Was it competitive? Yes. Was it close? Maybe you can make an argument, but there is no way that Silva won or that Rose won those first two rounds or the fight in general. I remember watching that third fight. I was talking to my friends. I was like, dude, everybody is saying that Rose is up by the third round. I mean, what do you guys have? And everybody unanimously said that Silva was winning, and it made me feel a bit more sane. I didn't really think that it was close between the two. Silva, she has a weird style, man. She goes out there, she's like popping her hips like she's twerking mid fight, like she's dancing or something. She like I've never seen that in WMMA or MMA in general. I've never seen a fighter like pop that much at the hips and like look like she's about to throw a calf kick, turn her hips over, but without even throwing hips, she just like rotates her hips every 2 seconds. I've never seen that before. That's an interesting style. Um, she won comfortably. Silva won. I believe there was rumors of her saying that, or maybe not her, if someone asking Dana if she would fight for the belt next if she beat Rose. I don't recall what Dana's specific answer was. I mean, he's very good about giving non-straightforward, non-specific answers. I mean, just look at the Armantsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Someone asked him, "Will the winner of this fight be the number one contender?" And then he said, "What? The number one contender? Yeah, yeah." And then of course, 2 months later, Paddy versus Gaethje gets announced. So I mean, Arman's still technically the number one contender, but there was no real weight behind that. So third was Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derrick Lewis. This one, this one sucked, man. I mean, the fight itself was decent. It was good. Obviously, Waldo. It looks way worse than it was. I mean, one for one takedown, 100%, 100%. Um, Significantly more total and significant strikes, but it is a little misleading. I mean, a decent amount of those, I would assume half, if not close to, came once Derek was on the floor. The ref, I don't know if he stopped it too late. I mean, Derek, for a little bit, it looked like he was trying to get up. It looked like he was actively protecting himself, especially with the right hand covering the side of his head. But the first round was very slow. I mean, there's a lot of tension. You could tell that both of these guys knew the other wouldn't shoot a takedown, and the only reason the fight would end is if someone landed a powerful overhand and dropped the other. That's why these guys looked a little bit gun shy. By the second round, things heated up. One thing I noticed is there was a lot of slipping in the octagon at 324 for some reason. Derek Lewis, it looked like the punch that Cortez landed that hit Derek. It didn't look too bad on its own. I mean, obviously, it made him stumble back, but it looked like he lost his footing. Something that we later saw in the Gaethje fight, where Gaethje lost his footing as well. But Derek Lewis, he slipped, got hit, stumbled a little bit, slipped, fell, and Cortez just came up the ground and pound. Derek just couldn't get up. It did look like Derek gave up at some point. I wonder if physically he was unable to defend and then regain his footing. I don't know if he kind of just accepted it, like, hey, it is what it is. I'm in no mood to keep fighting. I'm not sure, but this fight, like I said, very slow in the start, but once Lewis got on the ground, obviously things picked up. A lot of tension at the beginning. Derek threw a lot of punches that they missed, but there's a lot of power behind them. You could see in his eyes that he was going for the kill at first. Um, Derek Lewis, I'm wondering who he should fight next. Maybe Kuniev, the guy who lost to Curtis Blades. Honestly, that fight was a little bit of a robbery, but Waldo, he could fight Curtis Blades himself. He could fight Volkov maybe. I mean, Volkov is technically on a loss to Gon, even though that fight was a robbery. Gon versus Volkov too. Cortez he's a superstar. And at least in the heavyweight division, not in the UFC in general. Moving up, I mean, this guy is. He said he wants to fight 6 times this year. Maybe he might get a rematch against Sergey Pavlovich. That fight was it was a draw, or not draw, sorry. It was it went the distance. Pavlovich won that fight. Maybe Waldo goes back. I mean, there's a lot going on in heavyweight right now. I doubt he'll get a title shot anytime soon. We have Gon versus Aspinall rematch possibly. Maybe even Pereira versus Gon for an interim heavyweight belt. So I think in the meantime, Waldo will need to fight one, two more ranked, like highly ranked opponents. Pavlovich, Volkov, Blades, who knows? For the co-main was O'Malley versus Song Yadong. A lot of people on the UFC's official Instagram were saying that this was a robbery. I would need to rewatch this to see if it was a robbery. I mean, it was definitely close. I don't know if it was a complete robbery, but I could see an argument for Song winning. If we look at damage-based scoring, O'Malley won because Song got, I believe, it was a knee to the mouth that busted him open. Pause. But before that, there really wasn't a lot of bloodshed. There wasn't a whole lot of damage to go off of. If we're going off of total strikes or significant strikes, I could see the argument for O'Malley. Song landed 3 takedowns. O'Malley shot 0, landed 0, of course. I mean, this was a striker's delight. Nothing really happened with those takedowns. No submission attempts, obviously. This fight stayed on the feet for the majority of it. Regardless of what you think of if O'Malley won or lost, if Song won or lost, I really hope O'Malley does not get a title shot, bro. This guy, he lost to Yan, got a title shot, beat Aljo fairly, got a layup title defense, lost to Marab, immediate rematch, which was wild in my opinion. Lost more decisively, went from losing by decision to submission. Um, Beat Song Yadong. If they give him the rematch with Peter Yan, the UFC is cooked, bro. I mean, if Merab is ready to fight, he should get the immediate rematch against Yan. If he's not, give it to Umar. Umar fought Merab fairly close, lost, beat Batista and now Davison Figueiredo. Figueiredo being a former champ. Like there are two guys clearly ahead of O'Malley in the line for the bantamweight title. If O'Malley gets another title shot, bro, I have no idea what's going on. He should fight Sandhagen at the White House. I think that would be one of the best fights you could make. I mean, stylistically, they're both strikers. It'd be extremely entertaining. Both of these guys, they want to get back to the belt, but I don't think either deserve. I mean, for Sandhagen, that'd be an immediate rematch, or he would have an immediate title shot after losing to Merab, which would be ridiculous. And O'Malley, I don't think one win off of Song, a controversial win, by the way, that should not put him back into the title shot talk. So I would really love to see O'Malley versus Sandhagen fight. Yadong, he could fight. I don't know who Yadong would be a good matchup for Yadong. Maybe Batista, maybe Figueiredo. I mean, who knows? We'll see what's going on with him. Let me know what you guys think if this fight was controversial and who you'd match make these two with. And for the main event, Paddy versus Gaethje, bro. Thank God Justin won. I'm so glad that Paddy, the industry plant that he is, got humbled. I have no issue with him personally. I mean, he's hilarious. He's a funny guy. He's cool. He seems like a great dude, like a genuine guy. That being said, he did not beat anybody impressive enough to get him this interim shot. I mean, he was clearly him, Diego Lopez, Sean O'Malley. These guys are all industry plants, and I'm glad that Paddy got humbled because he talks way too much trash for someone to be, you know, to be in the position he's in. Gaethje surprised me, man. He came out there. He looked like he was fighting like he was drunk, man. He looked a little bit sloppy, but power in his hands, bro. 3 for 3 takedowns, 200 total strikes. Dropped him out. It says, or Pimblett, my bad. Knocked him down twice, but I, I thought it was more than that. I thought he knocked him down way more than that. Obviously, people that like Patty are going to say that, oh, Gaethje's eye poke was ridiculous, this and that. Dude, I think he slipped. I legitimately think, watching Gaethje's eye poke, I think he leaned in, lost his footing, and stuck his left hand out to grab, like to stabilize himself. And then that's when he poked him in the eyes. Dude, I do not think that was an intentional eye poke. That being said, I mean, the ref told him, hey, one more to get a point deducted. It didn't happen again. So, of all the fighters that do use eye pokes, Gaethje does not seem like one that does it intentionally. I mean, look at how many we had last year. Gaethje definitely does not fit that bill, in my opinion. That being said, absolutely entertaining fight. There were multiple moments where Gaethje would drop Hattie, and then he would go in and control him on the floor. He would get him in the seat belt or the cradle, and I was nervous when Gaethje would go down, man. I'd be like, "Oh, Patty's gonna get him in his guard, and then he's gonna submit him." Or there were times where Patty would wobble Gaethje, and you could tell that his age is catching up to him. Man, at 37 years old, he's not the man that he used to be, not in his prime anyway. If this was Gaethje 5, 6 years ago, bro, he would have got Patty done in the first, second round, bro. There's no way that Patty survives until round 3. This was entertaining. I mean, it's funny. John Anik said, "Oh, this is in the talks for for fight of the year." Bro, this is like the first pay-per-view of the year, bro. It's January, the first UFC event of 2026, and you're talking about possibly fight of the year, bro. Come on. That was funny. I mean, technically true, but it is funny to think about. That being said, Patty, I would love to see him fight BSD or Hooker. Whoever wins or loses, I don't care either way. I prefer if he fights Hooker. I mean, these guys got some personal beef. Patty said some things about Dan and his mom. Dan said something back about one of Patty's his deceased friends. Gaethje. I'm hoping if Ilya has a quick return to the UFC, those two fight. If not, then Gaethje or Ilya needs to vacate and just let Justin fight Arman, bro. We need to wrap up this jumbled, messed up lightweight storyline. I mean, things have been messed up since 311 when Arman pulled out. I mean, nothing has made sense since then. I mean, first they were saying that, oh, if Arman makes weight at 317, he'll get his title shot back. makes weight, doesn't get one. Beats Hooker, nothing. Then you have Paddy, who beat Chandler, Bobby Green, and Tony Ferguson on a 13 or 12 fight loss streak combined. They're 0-12, 0-13, whatever they were. Gets the interim shot. Gaethje, who just beat Fiziev by decision after losing to Holloway, right? I mean, Holloway, dude. Holloway's last two fights dominated Gaethje, dominated Poirier. Why does Justin jump him for the interim shot? Like nothing in lightweight makes sense right now. So hoping Ilya comes back soon, and then him and Justin can fight it out. And then the winner of that fights Arman. If Ilya does not come soon, let Justin be the undisputed champ. Let him fight Arman. But we need to start closing off some of these unresolved storylines, some things that just make no sense in the lightweight division. Lightweight, bantamweight, and featherweight are all kind of jumbled up, and I think it's due to a lot of Dana White privilege. I mean, O'Malley getting the immediate rematch against Marab, Diego Lopez getting another title shot after beating Silva over Evloev and Murphy, Paddy being an industry plant and getting this interim title shot after beating no real contenders. I mean, things are making no sense, but I think we're trending in the right direction with Lopez versus Volk, and then Evloev versus Murphy soon. Possibly Marab versus Jan, Umar versus Jan, who knows? O'Malley, thank God, he said, you know, Marab deserves the rematch. If he wants it, let him have it. Thank God he actually recognizes that. That being said, this was a great event. Had a lot of fun watching these fights. My only issue, besides the ads, oh my God, there were ads during the walkouts. There were ads during the in between rounds when the fighters were cornered. Like it was crazy how many ads there were. I mean, I understand that it's cheaper now to watch this, but they promised in the premium version less or no ads, I believe, and it was supposed to start and end an hour earlier. It started an hour earlier, bro. It ended at the same time. I don't understand that. That being said, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.